Okay, so Missionary Enterprise, Missionary Aid International, once again, and this is God's World of Aviation, and we came out here at Peterborough Municipal Airport to get some shirts, and we really it really worked out today regarding flying colors. That there's a nice global I'm pretty sure it's a 5,000. It could be a 6,000. But the global series, and it's running, so they're going to be taking off. We're assuming they're going to be taking off, but anyhow, at least we got one in the picture, and we'll put also the thumbnail. So I just want to do a short teaching here regarding Luke 12. In Luke 12, it says here, in the meantime, when so many thousands of the people, amazing, I saw that the other day, so many thousands, the Amplified, of the people had gathered that they were trampling on one another regarding Jesus. Now this word thousands is actually, we have all kinds of references in the New Testament where crowds, not just crowd, but crowds, plural, but this is a different word in the Greek. This is the word myriad. So actually it's a group of 10,000. So according to here, and that's why the Amplified's got it here, so many thousands. Now, this is nothing new to Jesus, because we read in different Gospels where he fed minimum 5,000 men, and we have another reference where it said 5,000 men, not even counting the women and the children. So I'm assuming there may have been 10,000 there. That's a lot of people, all right? So Jesus commenced by saying primarily to his disciples, but in the midst of the crowd, the thousands of people there, he spoke to his disciples, but I'm sure they overheard him too. He said here, be on your guard against the leaven of the Pharisees, which is hypocrisy. So he's not only warning his disciples about the Pharisees themselves, but he's warning them not to fall trap to the hypocrisies of the Pharisees. And the problem, not the problem with that, but the warning and all that is towards leaders. He's preparing them to become leaders. The Pharisees were leaders, but they were hypocrites. Why? Because they did not practice what they preached. And this is what basically Jesus is warning his disciples as future leaders in the church. Don't be like the Pharisees. Make sure you practice what you preach. And here it says in verse 2, nothing is so closely covered up that it will not be revealed, or hidden that it will not be known. Verse 3, whatever you have spoken in darkness shall be heard and listened to in the light, and what you have whispered in people's ears and behind closed doors will be proclaimed upon the housetops. Now this really, now people say, why are you doing this at an airport? Well, first of all, it has to do with the thousands, the crowds. When you're traveling, God is preparing us, especially in light of the nations will open up to you because of my healing power. So there's going to be thousands, and you got to learn how to deal with the thousands of the people, and you got to make sure you got the right message at the right time. So I just want to finish this off with the last two verses I read here, 12, 2 and 3, regarding what is covered will be revealed. The engines are being revved up. They're going to take off. We're going to see this thing take off, I'm pretty sure. I just want to close this with this whole thing being revealed. Found in Revelations 20, starting in verse 10, regarding the great white throne judgment. Then the devil who had led them astray, deceiving and seducing them, was hurled into the fiery lake of burning brimstone, where the beast and the false prophet were, and they will be tormented day and night forever and ever. Then I saw a great white throne, and on the one who was seated upon it, God, from whose presence and from the sight of whose face earth and sky fled away, and no place was found for them. I also saw the dead, great and small. They stood before the throne, and books were opened. Then another book was opened, which is the book of life. And it says what they had done, their whole way of feeling, acting, their aim, endeavors, in accordance with what was recorded in the books. Everything's going to be written. Everything is being written in the books. Saved and unsaved alike. But the great white throne judgment is for the unsaved. And the sea delivered up the dead, who were in a death and Hades, and their cases determined by what they had done according to their motives, aims, and works. That death and Hades, the state of death and disembodied existence, were thrown into the lake of fire. This is the second death, the lake of fire. And if anyone's name was not found recorded in the book of life, he was hurled into the lake of fire. So I say all of this in context with the nations. The nations will open up to Missionary Prize because of his healing power. Number one, to get him saved. To get him saved. And this has to do with the airports. This has to do with business jets. This has to do with traveling. Everything. Because this is the apostolic. This is the apostolic. And I've got that working in me. And that's why we make these videos. So I want to thank you for your time. I want to thank you for those who are following us, those who started following us. And as I finish all my videos, walk in the fullness of the grace of God. Shalom and amen.